What part of the country?
I'm in Omaha, Nebraska.
You're in Omaha, so you're working with Bud right now?
Well, we're not officially together. We gave him a call a couple nights ago. Picked up, said let's get it in, man. He said I have a couple guys we'll get it in with. You know, Steven Nelson. I think he's the NABO champion.
Yeah, I've spoken to
And he said we'll be at the gym. I said let's be on time, man. Just be on time. Let's get some work in. We concurred and met down at the gym. B&B is like, man, like we never left one another, man. The energy's still there, man. And you know, it was just good vibes, man. Great vibe, man. Great session. We got it in. Just like I said, never left one another. You know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. How many camps have you done with Bud?
In the past, I think we probably in the beginning from when he was 35, 40, we probably got in like 8 camps. And before the world really knew about him, when we was working in the fields, sneaking into gyms with one another, getting kicked out of gyms, you know, sharing shoes, meeting in the fields, working out of the trunk, you know, so roughly 8. And then right before then, we were getting it in. Yeah.
Okay. So do you work with him now every camp, or sometimes you don't?
I don't. I just currently moved back to Omaha. I was out in Denver working and training and things of that nature. And like I said, we would link up from time to time because I would come back to Omaha and clients out here, fitness clients, and I would do work with some of the local athletes. But I'll give him a ring. He know I was in town. Say, hey, let's get it in a little bit. So still my guy. We good. We're solid. It's like I said, when we get back together, it's just like, I don't know, it's magic. I feel like it's magic, man.
Right. Well, you know, I spoke with Errol Spence's his former strength and conditioning coach, a guy named Blu-ray, and he told me that just for a warm-up, this is just the warm-up, he has him do 700 push-ups.
Yeah, that's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Normal? Is that normal? Tell me what you think about that.
I mean, to each his own. To each his own. I'm looking at it from a performance standpoint, okay? You know, that's taxing. You're taxing the system. That, you know, it's demanding. But I'm looking at a guy, my guy, when I'm with guys, I'm usually working with, you know, high-level athletes. I'm priming and prepping their body and their mind so that we're working towards a performance, all right? We're going to build into it. You think about it. Every now and then you get rounds like, was it Sugar Ray and, you know, back in there, when you get them like that, but we're building into our rounds. We're going to get it. Is it normal? You know, depending on what's normal to whom. But for me, I don't train my athletes like that. Okay. I build them. I build them into it.
Right,
you know?
right.
I'm going to tax their systems, not just physically, but mentally. You know, the anaerobic and I'm going to tax the anaerobic system because you got to have it. Then we're going to work without oxygen. We're going to push. We're going to hit the muscles. We're going to hit strength. We're going to hit muscle endurance. We're going to, you know, you got to have good footwork. You got to have a strong base. We're going to hit it all, you know. So, you know, Blu-ray does his way or whomever does that way. At the end of the day, we're looking for results. If he had to do 10,000 push-ups, it's 10,000 push-ups. I'm looking at priming and prepping. I'm going to start this car. We're going to rev it up. Man, we're going to get to the end result. You know what I mean?
Did you work with Bud for the first Spence fight?
I did not. I haven't been around. Like I said, I haven't been around in quite some time. But before that Spence fight, I was sitting on my balcony. It was raining outside, and this is crazy. I was actually watching. You know, it's not 24/7 anymore. What is it now?
All access.
All access. Okay, all access. And I get a FaceTime, and it's Crawford. It's Bud. He's on the treadmill running. Man, we're talking about old times and this and that. I know why he was calling, and I'm glad he called. He wanted to share some of that energy with me.
Right.
I'm an energy guy. He thrives off that energy. Gave him a little bit of that energy, man. We connected real brief. And, hey, that's all he needed. So was I in the camp? No. But I feel like I served a purpose when I needed it. I gave him what he needed when he needed it. So I take that.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, man. I'm in Western Kentucky. So yeah,
and that's where you grew up.
Grew up, born and raised, man. Born and raised, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
How far is that from Louisville?
Man, I'm closer to Nashville than I am my major cities, of Lexington, Louisville. Louisville
Okay.
about 2.5, somewhere along in there.
Because the people watching, Louisville produced possibly the greatest fighter of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that.
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
So, okay, so do you think you'll be working with Bud for this next Spence fight?
I'm things possible. If Bud gives me a call and say, let's sit down and talk, let's get to it. Let's get to the work. Let's get to the work. I don't want to claim anything or put anything out there that's not true. Crawford is my first fighter that I ever worked with, like boxer that I ever worked with. And when I look back, going in, I remember his coach would always say, Coach Saul, shouts out to Coach Saul, he said, man, we're going to be world champion right here. Well, I didn't know anything about that. Only thing I knew about was grinding. Back then, I didn't even know how to put a workout together.
Right.
Only thing I know, I had energy and I knew how to work. And he fed off of that. So that's he was looking for work. I was looking for work. Didn't even know what I was up against, man. And then, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, finish your thought.
Just saying, and we had something special back at 135 when he was, man, we're just grinding to make weight, man. We're just grinding to make weight. And I was there with him step for step. And, some days, and we would be in camp or just working, it was like, man, it's tough. But he had to go through that. And it felt, when I look back, being a part of that helped build me as a professional.
Right.
We never, we sit and talk every now and then, but I'm very grateful that shouts out to Bernie the boxer as well. That Bernie, he came down, I was at the barbershop one day. He said, man, I got somebody for you. They know I was into fitness and things like that. He brought Bud to me. We met. We outside the barbershop. He used to wrestle a little bit, and I'm a former wrestler as well. And he grabbed a hold of me. We talk a little bit, wrestle around. Next thing you know, man, we got to it. We met up, gave a time. He showed up on time. I showed up on time, got some work in, talk a little trash. That's how we got down, man. That's how we got down. We music together, good music.
Okay. So what would you say that Bud does differently or not differently? Where would you say Bud excels more than or excels in general in terms of strength and conditioning when you work with him? Is there anything you see from him that you're like, wow?
What I like about it, he won't back down. He won't back down. He's gonna embrace the grind. He's gonna embrace the grind. I'm sorry. So even when it gets tough, even if he slows down and you have to breathe a little bit, he's not gonna stop. He's gonna embrace that. He's gonna get through it. And that's what I like. You think about in a fight, you still have to find somewhere to breathe, somewhere to rest. Even in the strength and conditioning, I like to call it performance work because I'm building towards the performance. You got to find somewhere to breathe. He's not going to back down, and I like that. I feed off of that. While he's feeding off of me, I'm feeding off him. That's what I do. I never told him that, but we're having this conversation. I know you saw the picture that we posted, and like I said, I never want to overstep my boundaries as a professional. However, this is written right here. It's documented. We were in the lab together.
We hear all of these claims of how Bud is unbelievably strong for his size. And have you seen that? Have you seen that for his size, his strength level is very high?
Well, I know personally, like I said, he would grab me from time to time, and we grapple a little bit. I got a little edge on him, but he's extremely physically strong. So not just from lifting up. You see him, when he's working with his other coach, his other strength coach, where he's picking up, 400 plus pounds on the deadlift. Before then, he was already extremely strong. That just shows that he can pick up 400 pounds. He's physically strong. He's physically strong, in different positions.
Somebody like Bud at that, and we're talking now the highest level of boxing. How many days a week would somebody like him do strength and conditioning training?
I think when we were in the lab together, we were doing 2 to 3 days, depending.
And how long would each session be?
And you're looking at about an hour 15, somewhere along in there. Because they were intense sessions, very intense.
Would he, after that, jump right into his boxing training, or he'd come back later? Do you know?
No, we'll go back, get some food, rest up.
Chill, right.
Then we'll go back to the boxing gym, so. And I don't, like I said, I don't think things have changed, maybe enhanced a little bit, but they put it like this. He had a system that we bought into that I feel is second to none. I still implement a lot of things that we did when we were together still today in my regiments, even with my general population clients. Have a lot of my general population clients who love the boxing work. It's a great fitness workout, great fitness workout. And I even use some of the techniques and the regimens that we used to use. But yeah, so that's what it would look like.
Okay. Now when you watched him fight Spence, now Bud himself said that he was surprised at how easy it was. Were you surprised at how easy that fight turned out to be?
Honestly, he might try to slap me in the back of my head when he sees me, but it's all good. And I've told him this myself. I was kind of nervous for that fight. I thought Spence would be a better fight. It would be a better fight. On paper, he was coming in, and I thought he would be strong in positions. But hey, I got to give a shout out to the whole team Crawford, man. It was like a masterpiece. Listening to the coach's coach in the corner, the way he received the information, where he would go out and put the game plan together, the way he was moving. He was picking his spots. He looked very, very strong. I mean, it was a masterpiece. So I'm gonna keep it real. I was a little nervous, and after that first round, but picked the spot. It's over. I knew it was over.
Yeah.
I knew it was over. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Do you think, because I spoke with Blu-ray, now Blu-ray did not train Errol for this Crawford fight. He did not. Blu-ray thought that he saw some strength and conditioning issues with Errol. Did you see, do you think a better strength and conditioning routine or something different would have helped Errol, or do you think it had nothing to do with his strength and conditioning?
Man, Bud was home, man.
Yeah, he was.
But I don't care if Errol Spence had me that night. Bud was home, man. Like I said, it was a masterpiece. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was home. He was on. I mean, he was on.
I mean, they're talking about the rematch. It seems like it's going to happen. I don't think there's a need for it. I mean, do you think there's even a need for? If it wasn't for the contract, do you think there's a need for that rematch?
If it was not for the contract, no, I don't think so. But I also look at it like, okay, how will they make this thing happen on whichever side, which party? Run it back. Say it was hard for him to make 47. B. Croft said it was hard for him making 47. At 54, it won't be for all the marbles, but because they unified at 47, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Run it back. Go bump.
Well,
I don't, unless they make some type of drastic changes, I see the same thing happen. I'm kind of biased, but I see the same thing.
No, I mean, it's not even biased because you can't see that fight and not see the same thing happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't, because a lot of people talked about possible things that EJ Spence had wrong with him. And I'm just like, if the fight was close, any little hiccups he might have had in training camp might make a difference in the rematch to correct it. But when the fight is so lopsided, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So Bud is openly talked about going up to fight Canelo at 68. Do you know what Bud walks around at when he's not trying to make 47?
Man, we got some work in the other day, man. He look kind of big, He's like sort of like you. He has that ectomorph, He's long. I mean, he has long limbs, and he's strong. You can see the definition. You can see he has a little bit more muscle. He's not gonna walk around real. He's not gonna get bulky. He's not gonna get, but he's strong. You understand? So, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
If I had to guess, I know I saw a post the other day. He said he was like 180.
That's what he said. Yeah.
I'm just being. I didn't see 180. Probably 170. Somewhere in there. If I had to guess, I didn't think he was 180. We didn't do much talking. We dived up. We got to the business, man. Let's get to it. We got to it. Gym was smoking hot with some good music on. Hey, man, it was time to get to it. He came in focused. I don't know if he was excited to see me, but I was excited to see him get some work. Man, we weren't doing a bunch of talking, man. Let's get to it, man.
It's work.
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I was, hey, the work's never done. That's our motto, man. Work time.
So how do you see now this is assuming Canelo beats Charlo, which I think would have to be I would lean definitely towards Canelo, although Charlo does have a great chance. Do you think Bud naturally can hold that 168 and be strong and be at that level at 168? Because he's strong for 147, but does that automatically translate to him being strong at 168?
I've seen him spar bigger guys and do very, very well. I don't know. Have I seen him spar a guy that's Canelo's, at Canelo's level at that weight? I mean, at that skill set. But I've seen him hold his own. And once again, like I said, he's very, very strong. May not look like it's very strong, right? And he's a master boxer. I believe, this is what I believe. I've said this to a couple friends and they laugh. Right. I said from 147, I don't think we should fight him at 168. Catch weight. All right, if we get him at a catch weight, we take it. From 147 to like 160, whatever we can catch weight him at, I don't see anyone beating Crawford unless they catch him with something.
But Crawford has had, I mean, he said himself, right? It's been a little bit of a struggle to make 47, correct?
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If it made sense and he had to make 147, he'll find it. I'm telling you what I know. Right. He always told me, Des, I'm gonna make that weight. And he never got made weight.
Right.
If he had to and it made sense, and he had to put his family, his team, and Omaha on his back, he gonna make that weight if it makes sense and that's what he want to do. I know him that well enough. As I said, we've been apart for a while, but some things don't change, man. It's innate,
Yep.
So I'm just telling you, this is just me, my professional opinion. But they say, who is this guy? It's my professional opinion.
Sure.
So I believe from 147 to 160 catch weight with Canelo, whatever the numbers are. I know Canelo's the bigger, stronger fighter. If that's something he's really, really entertaining, I don't know if he's really entertaining that. In his mind, if he puts it in his mind, he's a stubborn son of a gun. If he believes he can do it, he's gonna find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo stated pretty clearly that he will not go past under 168. So I think the fight would have to be at 68.
Well, that's for the people in the suits and everyone to figure out. I'm just here giving my opinion, man.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe.